Hi everyone, welcome back. I am doing a little cooking video today. Something I think only a pregnant woman would would think of. This recipe is like a combination of quite a few things that I've seen online, and it just struck me as the best idea I think I've ever had, ever. Okay, hello, welcome to my humble kitchen. So this is my sourdough starter. I fed her the night before. She's good to go. As you can see, she is, she is very active, probably actually starting to deflate a little bit, which is fine. She is completely usable. I am going to be making two different loaves, one for just a regular loaf so I can have for breakfast, and then the one that will be used for the inclusion. Now the recipe will stay the same. It's not going to be different. It's not going to be different for quite a while, so you don't really add your ingredients until later on, but that's all right. I'll show you what I do just to get my regular base loaf, regular normal sourdough, and then from then I will show you my stretch and fold, what I do, and then what I'll be making and adding. So I have my two bowls here. I'll show you one first, just my regular sourdough recipe. I have my broken scales here that for some reason just absolutely broke. That is fine, you don't need them to the glass to be there. So I'm starting with 315 grams of water. Because I have a water filter and the water comes out cold, I just like to pre-fill a kettle with the filtered water, let it heat up for a little bit so at least it's room temperature, because you don't want to be putting cold water in your sourdough. I'm going to put 315 grams. Perfect. And then I'll be using 100 grams of my active starter. Sometimes I go over by using like an extra 10 grams of starter, and that's completely fine. I find it makes no difference. I make sourdough really, I just put it all together. In my brain, there's nothing wrong with having extra sourdough starter. Then I'm just getting my dough whisk and I'll just be mixing this together. I am very strong. Whew. All right, here's my drum of flour. I'm using organic white flour, by the way. So I'm just going to be putting 500 grams of the flour into the bowl, and I'll just be resetting the scales back to 0. And then I have my little trusty little salt jar, and then I'm just going to be putting in 10 grams of some fine Celtic sea salt. Sometimes I do 8, sometimes I do 9, sometimes I do 11. It's really not that big of a deal. As long as it's close to 10, that's what you want. Otherwise your bread will taste awful. Bread with no salt is truly one of the most awful tasting things in the entire world. You'll find that out the hard way. And then I'm just giving this a mix, and then till it forms a dough, and then I'll scrape the sides and then cover it, and then on to the next loaf. Okay, so this is pretty much what it looks like the first dough ball. I'll just be covering this, letting it sit for 40 minutes for its first stretch and rise, and let me go on. And I'm going to do the exact same thing to the other loaf. There's going to be no difference, and then I'll let them come sit, and then I'll come back when I'm doing the stretch and folds, and I'll show you what to do from there. Also, sorry guys if my lighting is a little bit how you're going in the kitchen, because just the way the kitchen is set up, it's a little bit dark, especially when I'm filming YouTube videos. I feel like the lighting when I'm standing in the kitchen is a bit funky. I'm doing everything I can to make it look better, but it is a little bit difficult. So just bear with me while I get better at it. And but the next step, what I'll be doing is I'll be making the apple cinnamon mixture. Super simple. Just going to be stewing some apples and cinnamon. Duh. What I did with the inclusion loaf, I just put it in the fridge because during the stretch and folds, I will be grating a cold stick of grass-fed butter into the stretch and folds, and then I'll be putting it back into the fridge. However, with the regular bowl of sourdough, I will just be leaving it out on the counter, and then for the bulk fermentation, I'll bring it back out on the counter for both loaves. So let's start with the apples because that will take a little while because I want it to be cool when I add it into the final stretch and fold. So let's make it now so it will just sit there and cool off. I will just be chopping these up extra small, like extra small. Just leave that little apple core like this. And then I will be literally, like, I will be chopping these up extra small because you don't want big chunks in your sourdough loaf. Okay, so now I have my chopped apple. What I'll be doing now is I'll be getting my cinnamon, some nutmeg, if I can find my cinnamon. All right, I have here some cinnamon, nutmeg, and then I'm going to get some brown sugar. I really like to eyeball it. I don't go off recipes. So I'm going to be adding a little bit of coconut oil. All right, now it's on the pan. You honestly just want to season to your liking. However much cinnamon that you want. Same with nutmeg. That is up to you. When it comes to the sugar, don't do more than half a cup, I would say. I actually have some organic vanilla beans that I'm going to get so I can scrape out and put in because I think the vanilla would be really nice too. So let me add my cinnamon, my nutmeg, my sugar, and then I'll go grab the vanilla and I'll show you what I'll be doing with that. The reason why I don't want to add any butter is because what's really important when you're making the sourdough croissant is that you want the butter and the dough to be the same temperature, hence why it's in the fridge, and so is the butter. So I feel like adding melted butter would kind of mess it up a little bit because then obviously that mixture will be going into the sourdough. So I think I'll just stick with a bit of coconut oil just to, you know, make sure it doesn't burn the bottom. I have my organic vanilla beans. I'm just going to be cutting them open and scraping out the insides. I can't even describe. It's like the best vanilla smell ever. And look at all that goodness. That right there is just pure vanilla bean. There is no such thing as too much vanilla. Back to the kitchen. You're probably thinking, hang on a minute, what happened to her dress? This is just to show you like how long sourdough takes. So I've done what I needed to in the morning. Now I'm putting on some comfier clothes so I can do some chores around the house, make lunch, because when you're making sourdough, this won't even be ready till tomorrow. So there's a lot of steps and I'll probably will change outfits again and then again tomorrow when it's ready. So my stretch and fold timer has gone off. I'm going to be doing, this is just for the regular one, so nothing too fancy here, but the fancy stretch and folds will be for the inclusion loaf. Okay, I have my cold loaf here. What I will be doing is I will just be grating some butter. This is grass-fed butter, by the way. I will be grating some butter directly into the loaf. This might be a little hard to do. I know I'm involving quite a lot of concepts into my sourdough, but that's because, I don't know, call it a pregnancy craving if you must. It is so hard to do stretch and folds when the dough is cold. I'm contemplating if I should add more butter now or wait till the second stretch and fold and add even a bit more butter. I might add a bit now. I've also drained any oil from here, so it's just the dry. Well, it's not dry, it's still technically wet. This is what it looks like so far, and then I'm gonna put it back in the fridge, and then I'm gonna come back and do it all again. So it's been another 40 minutes. This is the final set of stretch and folds that I will be doing. Some salmon cream, basil, and cherry tomato pasta for lunch, and it has actually made me so tired. Every time I eat now, especially now being pregnant, it just makes me like exhausted. Back to the inclusion loaf. This is kind of what it looks like. Very nice. You can see the butter and the apple. I think, I'm not sure if I want to add any more butter because it seems like it's at a good point where it is, but I'll do another stretch and fold and I'll see how I feel. My mom asked me if this is what I was wearing for the video, and I am too pregnant and it is too damn hot for me to care what else I'm wearing. And this is the funny thing, like when it comes to making sourdough, like I've already made lunch, I've fed my starter last night, it's taken already like 3 hours just to get to the stage before you bulk ferment. So it's just really like a tedious process. Like honestly, when I'm making my sourdough, I'm always in my pajamas or whatever stage of the day I'm at. Like it's just, because it's such a mission, really. But that's okay, you get the best results. Now I'm going to be adding some more of the apple cinnamon in here. This is what it looks like at the moment. I'm probably going to, not probably, I am going to let this bulk ferment rise for about 5.5 hours, maybe 6 hours, and then it goes in the fridge overnight. So yeah, I think I might leave it for another hour, then I'm going to put it in a proofing basket, except I don't really have a proofing basket, it's just a bowl. That will be fine. And then it will take around 12 hours overnight for it to do its proofing. But this is pretty much what she looks like. She's definitely doubled in size, which I'm really glad of. That's exactly what I wanted. I hope I added enough butter. I didn't want to add too much butter, but we will see tomorrow. Stay tuned. Welcome back, everybody. So it is now, let me check my phone. Okay, it is now 3:20 in the afternoon. It is like pretty much a full day later. It's been over 24 hours, definitely. This is what it looks like after being proofed for, I would say, like, I think it's been like 15, 16 hours. I cannot describe to you what this smells like. It smells like it smells like apple pie, but also like a cinnamon roll. I am so excited to eat this. As I was saying to Dylan, this will either be one of the best things I've ever made in my life, or it will be so incredibly mid that it's not funny. This is a pretty hefty bowl, so I'm just preheating my Dutch oven now. I'm making myself a tea, and then yeah, I'm gonna chuck this bad boy in. I am so nervous, but I'll show you me scoring it, giving it a light flour, and yeah. Okay, so I have my parchment paper here and I have my loaf. I'm just going to flip it over, flour it and score it like normal. Then I'm just going to chuck it in the Dutch oven that I've already been preheating at maximum temperature for the past, I'd say for the past 15 minutes. So yeah, let me go do that. So because it's a wet inclusion, I'm gonna let it cook for an extra 5 minutes with the lid on than normal. So that will be about 25 minutes. I'm nervous because I feel like I've actually made croissant sourdough bread before and it went really well. But I feel like because I've added so much extra that it's just a lot, you know, I'm a bit nervous. So we will see. I have Dylan here with me to try it. Really, it is quite buttery. There's a lot going on. Who knows what the inside holds?
I'm excited.
Do you want to hold this?
Yes, ma'am. I can't even like, maybe I
can't like break it. It's so hot.
I mean, like, smells very appley. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. Oh, yep. Imagine this with a little bit of butter on it. Now we're cooking.
This is really nice, actually. Oh, that's good.
Very nice, Rafi. I'm more keen to get to the middle.
It's buttery. It's flaky. It's appley. And it's not too sweet, obviously, because I didn't add, like, sugar. Would I say this is specifically worth doing for 3 days? No. But it was fun and it was a bit of an experiment. I would probably just...
If you can make it in, like, 1 day?
Yeah.
Yeah. 3 days is excessive.
Yeah.
It's very, very nice, but 3 days is excessive.
Oh, it like, you can pull it apart, too. Look, I think I'll probably try and just make regular croissants. You weren't supposed to eat that part. That's why I put it back. Thank you guys for watching.
Well,
The end.
goodbye from Rafi's kitchen.
Goodbye.